Natural light is good. All right, hello everyone. So yesterday I did a video which was about the top 15. No, yesterday I did a video like the 8 reasons people lose money in binary options. So today I'm going to do a slightly different video which is about Forex. And today I've got 15 reasons right here. So by the way, I kind of loved it that yesterday there were a lot of people that came in to interact in the live chat, and I'd love for you to come and say hi. So if you're a subscriber of my channel, I appreciate it if you actually come and say hi or ask a question of some sort. Okay, so with no further ado, I'm going to go into the top 15 reasons why people lose money in Forex. The first reason is people who lose money in Forex often have no understanding of the market. So what that actually refers to is they don't even know what to make of the charts. Like some people, there are some people who trade based on price action, and there's some people who trade based on indicators. But there are some people out there. Just a moment. I need to take this call. One moment. Hello. All right. Sorry, I had to take the phone call. Some kids school stuff. All right. So, anyways, let's get right to this. I was talking about the first reason being no understanding of the market. So, no understanding of the market, like what drives it. Like I said, some people trade with nothing on the chart, and some people trade with too many things on the chart. Okay. A lot of indicators doesn't make you an expert, and I mean, you basically use what is necessary. If you're going to have indicators on your chart, make sure you know what they're for. And if you want to trade a bear chart, you really want to know what price action is. If not, go and learn about some price action. But if you are just looking at a bear chart and just making wild guesses, you're not going to make any money. Okay. Second reason why people lose money in Forex is because they have no regard for news events or economic changes. So, for instance, like there could be elections going on. There could be there could be like non-farm payrolls going on. There could be an FOMC announcement, and we all know that during those times of the week, FOMC is usually like on a Tuesday, and non-farm payroll is usually on the first Friday of every month. And then with like there's elections, then where there's Brexit postponements and all that. For example, Brexit got postponed again to January, right? So all these things, they actually result in either changes to the volatility or changes to the market movements. The fluctuations can be really big. And like as a result, if you're usually using certain amount of stop loss, maybe if you're usually using about like 30 to 60 pips, you may have to use 1.5 times of that during, something like for example, the Brexit, surrounding the Brexit, there's this whole period of time. For instance, even when I do EA trading, I recently had to increase my pit step for my hedging EA for USD JPY from 25 to 40. Okay, because based on the current values, that is what is required. So you need to have special regard for the news. I love to use my FX book, the Forex Economic Calendar, because my FX book's Forex Economic Calendar allows me to count down in real time to my country how soon the news is going to hit the market, and I take heed of that. And if I have some big positions that are already sitting in the green, I will cut my positions so that I can cash in on those profits in case news hits and then suddenly those profits just go into thin air. So and then it's very important as well, because like sometimes like people just enter a trade, they didn't know that news is going to hit, and suddenly it goes in opposite to the direction of where they thought it's going to go. For instance, maybe it could be some news event about oil, okay, and the USD CAD is very, very tight to movements and related to oil, and so there could be some you could have possibly like went long on the USD CAD. And then, like, there's some negative news for oil that just hit the market, but by right, this news would have actually been in your favor. But the only thing is that the news reaction may have went the other way, and then you thought, oh shit, it's turning against me. I better get out. The next moment, boom, it goes all the way in your favor, and you're like, what the heck's going on? Or let's say, if you happen to not realize that this is so annoying. You happen to realize that this is not the non-farm payroll, and basically you think, oh, the price is really good right now, let's get in, but you realize that the spread is so huge, And you're like, how am I going to make a profit with this spread? So yeah, so you got to know about these things. Okay, number three, actually quite kind of related to number two, you have no understanding of, not you, sorry, it's not your fault. Some people have no understanding of spreads, swaps, and commissions. All these three stuff is very important. Okay, like there are some people. Okay, so let's talk about swaps. Swaps is one of the ways that brokers love to make money from you, because many brokers, they pay you a low positive swap, but they deduct you heavily on a negative swap. So I mean, with all things equal, shouldn't it be the same? So personally, I like to use swap free. Okay, so when I have a broker in the video description. I believe they have a swap free as well. Recently, I started to promote this broker instead because they have the best trading conditions overall. They have the lowest spreads, the lowest commissions, and the fastest execution. So I got to check whether they have swap free as well. But if not, I'm also going to put down a link for FX Primus so you can use FX Primus as a swap free account. So swaps is one of the things that sometimes you ever had some trade that for whatever reason has just been sitting there for like months, weeks and months, and then although it's raking up a slow steady profit, okay, it's kind of going in steps and picking up a nice profit. But the thing is that because you've been holding it for so long, when you finally close the trade, you realize, hey, where did all the profit go? It all went to swap rate, and that's one of the things you need to know. And like some of you love to scalp. Some of you, you open an ECN account, and then the thing about ECN is that when you take a trade, they bill you afterward for the commission. So you may be seeing a very, very low spread, but you didn't know that you need to also pay the commission as well, along with that spread. So the result of that is that you enter a trade, you think, oh, I'm making money. Oh, that's $8. I'm gonna close that trade. Oh, that's $10. I'm gonna close that trade. Not realizing that you also have to pay a commission, and the commission is also $8 or $10. Sucks, right? So the broker I have in the video description, Q Markets, by the way, they have like the industry lowest ECN that's $6. So I highly, highly recommend them. Use that link in the video description. It's right there. Try it out. It's really fast and really good. So like I said, so spreads, swaps, and then there's oh yeah, I talked about swaps. I talked about commissions, and let's talk about spreads. So different brokers, they have different kinds of spreads. That they have like they have the ECN spread, which you got to pay commission as well, and there's the variable spread. But what kind of spread should you be paying? And like one of the things that you may also want to know is that in the Forex broker industry, the way everything works is kind of like it's kind of still kind of like binary. Binary is a little bit more casino. I mean, at the end of the day, a lot of the brokerages and in Forex and binary have big stakeholderships by gambling organizations, okay, casino organizations. So the way that it works is kind of a little bit of the same. There's some elements of it, okay. There are some brokers out there that really go based on volume, but there are many out there that they're not. They're just out to kind of like make it easy for you to open trades and make it hard for you to close trades that you open, which kind of sucks. So how they kind of mess you over sometimes is that notice that if you take a high a high leverage account and a bonus, and you compare, try this experiment, okay? Like you have a high bonus, high leverage account, and then you have a low leverage account, no bonus, and then you take the same trade on both. Very often you find that on this one, the high leverage and bonus, you will lose, and then on this one, you will win. Why is that? Because on this other one, they will mess you over. Because whatever they give you, they got to take something back, right? So they will mess you over, and sometimes you're going to see it. Some trades stop out for no reason, and that's just a pain as well. So that brings us to point number 4: using brokers with subtly spreads, swaps, and commissions. I used to promote XM. XM used to be good, but XM changed hands many times, and I don't think XM is good anymore. So if you're using XM, I highly recommend that you use Pure Market instead. Pure Market, I have a link for them in the video description. Go check them out. It's way, way better. XM has sucky spreads, sucky swaps, and high commissions. So there are also many other brokers out there. For example, there are so many brokers out there that used to be like binary in the past. Like for example, like 24 option, you went from binary to Forex, and you get sucky spreads and sucky swaps and sucky commissions. So and then there are a lot of other ones out there like what Iron FX, and that's just plain garbage as well. They renamed themselves to something else. I think FX Giant. I mean, sister company. I don't really know if they're good, but I read some reviews on Forex Peace Army. Apparently, they're not as well. So, like, you can check reviews. You can ask me. But you can just take my word for it. The one I have in the video description, that is the best right now. Okay. Point number 5: no strategy. So I mentioned in my previous video about binary option, there is like a way to picking your trades. You need to be able to know. You need to have a way of picking it, such as like, if this happens, then we do this. If this happens, then we do this. And if you have a strategy, it needs to be defined, and we need to be able to stick to it. If you vary around it too much, then it becomes no strategy, and you're back to zero. Okay. So if you have a strategy, please stick to it. All right. Now, point number 6: trading against the market that is not hedging. So hedging, by the way, is a strategy that I even use in my PAM system. Basically, that is like taking trades in both directions on the market and adding and closing positions at different points of movement. Okay, let's say for every certain amount of movement, open new position, close certain position, open new position, close certain position. And the whole point is that, we're able to make money when the market is moving in both ways, although there will be floating loss at certain times. However, there's a lot of people that manually deploy hedging to the point that, okay, they think, oh, it's moving against me. I'm not going to leave this. I'm not going to close this trade. I'm going to open another one. I'm going to open another one. I'm going to open another one. Okay, so trading against the market that is not hedging is very dangerous because, for example, if you did not do your money management to factor in the possibility of adding in more trades along the line, then you're most likely going to end up over trading, which is to use too much of your trading margin to place positions that will eventually rack up a huge loss. And also, there are conditions in the market, like I mentioned in point number 2, which is about the economy and news events. And sometimes there can be big movements in the market that, if your idea was to, it's going to go up, it's going to go back up at some point, let's just average down in the meantime. Well, but sometimes if the movement is so big, okay, that it just doesn't make sense to have too many positions. And it's actually better to just cut. Okay, so that brings us to point number 7, not cutting loss. A lot of people out there in the market, when they trade Forex, the problem, there's this one problem with Forex, which personally I think that makes binary a better place to start for beginners. I mean, that's just my thought, but you may have different thoughts. But one of the benefits that binary has over Forex is that in binary, in the fixed amount of time, you are out of the trade. Whether you win or you lose, you're out of the trade. If you trade Forex with the same mentality, by a certain time, I should be making money. If I am not, I'm out of the trade. Okay. The reason why I'm able to teach Forex in a more profitable way than the way many places online tend to teach is because I first become a binary trader and then a Forex trader later on. And most of my students, if you have joined me first in binary, then you will have an advantage in Forex because you appreciate that within certain time frame, if this does not happen, this trade is not going to work. All right. And by the way, for those of you joining in this video, if you want to say hi or you want to ask a question along the way, you're most welcome to do so during a live chat on that side. It could be on the side of the video, it could be at the bottom of the video. And thanks for tuning in. So I was talking about the point number 7, which is not cutting loss. One of the top reasons for people, like losing money in Forex because they're just too loyal to the trade. So in binary, we learned that by a certain timing, we're already cutting the loss, and you should be the same. If your strategy defines that, oh, it should not move beyond this point, and it won't move beyond certain point, this trade is invalid. You need to have these kind of rules to invalidate a trade and cut the loss when it's necessary. Okay, point number 8, not withdrawing profit. So there's a lot of people, unfortunately, okay, when they come into this world of trading, maybe they have had too many bad experiences in the past. And hey there, humble dude. That's a very nice username. And hello there, Prophet Opolia Mwaba. Did I get your name correctly? Yeah. So, what I was saying, okay, not withdrawing profit. Like I said, a lot of people, maybe in the past, you've only been losing money and losing money and losing money. But sometimes, some of these people are my students, and finally, they're learning how to make money, and they're actually making money in their accounts. However, okay, you just don't ever withdraw. So, hey, hello, this is not a game. I mean, it is like a game sometimes. It can be fun when you win. But please remember to withdraw, because if you're not withdrawing, what is stopping you from yourself? Okay, that's the main problem. One day, you could be your worst enemy and do something that you're going to hate yourself for, which is you do something, a trade that defies your money management, and then you're going to, screw yourself over by doing some stupid trade that's too big, or you move your stop loss, not close your losing trade, and then eventually, you find that over the last 2 months, the 40-50% profit that you gain, you have to just give it back to the market. So if you make a habit of withdrawing profits every time of the month, and you start to believe that this is a form of income, then you will start treating this with a different seriousness than otherwise if you never ever withdrawn. Okay. Point number 9. The ninth reason why people lose money in Forex is that too many people use too much leverage. When people ask me how much leverage should they select when they open a broker account, I always suggest that you should use the maximum leverage that's available. Why? Because when you use the maximum leverage that's available, you can do a lot more things. Okay, when necessary. That's the thing. However, if you have a very low leverage account, like 1:20, 1:30, that's why people in Europe. By the way, if any of you are in Europe or Canada or UK, use that link in the video description to open a Q Markets account. They give good leverage. It's not like super a lot. It's like 200, 1 to 200, which is actually enough. If you want something more, I'll put in a different link. One is a 500 with FX Primus. And just wait. I'll update this video afterward to put in a link for FX Primus. That one's good as well. The spreads are also quite good. Okay, about this part of leverage. So if you have very low leverage could be a good thing because it kind of protects you from over trading. But sometimes if you want to hedge, if need be, okay, sometimes there could be a big market movement, or there could be a big news coming and you forgot to see that. But you just want to lock down this trade and release that lock after the news is over. But now you've got no available margin to place that trade. So therefore, I think it's always good to take the higher leverage, but just don't use it. So just make a rule that every time we enter the market, we're going to use our stop loss is going to be equal to 1% or even 2% of our account. If you stick to this, you will always be fine. I guarantee you that. Now, this goes to the next point of poor money management. I mentioned earlier about trading against the market is not hedging. So and when you trade, a lot of people sometimes for convenience reasons or otherwise tend to estimate the trade size. And actually, I do this sometimes as well. I'm guilty of that. So but wherever possible, use some kind of a position size calculator. I know it takes some time, but it prevents you from overexposing yourself to risk. So, for instance, you cannot use the same lot size for a position that's going to have a 20 pip stop loss versus a position that will have a 120 pip stop loss, because one position should be 6 times smaller than the other one, just based on that size alone. So use proper money management calculate your position size carefully. On myfxbook.com, if you go to, I think it's like Forex calculators or what, there's one that says like pip calculator. Go use that, and then you can use that to calculate your ideal position size. All right, you can enter your stop loss in terms of pips, and then your account size and how much percent you want to allocate, and then it will calculate for you position size. And having this as a regular habit will also make you less likely to overtrade because of the time taken. One thing good over Forex, that binary, is that in Forex, if you take the time to calculate all your trades before you enter it, then you are going to have. Can you stop rustling the paper over here? It's kind of annoying. It's distracting me. Why didn't you go down and yourself play outside? So why didn't you go?
I was not finished.
Oh gosh. I'll bring you there in a while, but in the meantime, can you stop folding that paper here? It's kind of bothering me. Yeah, so where was I? I was talking about money management. I think that point is pretty much finished. Let's go to the next one. So let's talk. The point number 11 is the lack of practice. So for those of you who use EAs, you need to learn how to optimize. There are some people out there that's like, could you set up the EA for me? Can you it's like, could you give me a copy of your EA? I said, yeah, it's like, well, yes, if you open an account 1,000 or more, yeah, I can give you a copy of the EA, yes. And then they're like, could you set it up for me? I said, hey, but I think that's a bit much. It's not that, I don't want to do it or anything, but I don't want to be responsible for you having your account blown, because anyone who runs an EA self-run needs to be able to know how to optimize it. If you cannot optimize your EA, you're best not even running it. Okay. Every EA needs to be optimized on a 2-weekly basis or a monthly basis. And if you can't even do that, don't even do it. Just use a PAM. Pay the commission, use a PAM. Like, for example, I manage PAM accounts on FX Primus and FXTM. And although we had 3 bad months, but at the same time, we are above our starting capital. And I have done a lot of tweaking and adjusting and manual closing and opening of trades to help protect the equity at the times that are required. So all these are the things that need to be done if you're running your own EA. So if you cannot tweak, and let's say, okay, like I said, this point about lack of practice, watch the market. Please watch the market. If you don't have the time to watch the market, everyone who wants to trade Forex should at least spend some time watching the market first. So let's say during the lunchtime or whatever, instead of watching YouTube or instead of watching like the latest series on Netflix, spend some time taking your chart open, set it to a 1 minute or 5 minute, try to get some understanding of what's going on in the market. Because that way when you trade, then you start to see images and match up patterns that you previously noticed. If you're not doing that, I guarantee you're going to freak out. Because a lot of people who don't practice and they don't understand about the market conditions, they don't understand about spread swaps and commissions, when you go to trade, they freak out when they say, oh, I'm negative 18. Of course you are. You open a one lot. You open a one lot size trade and there's a spread. Of course you're negative. So every trade when you start is negative. So exactly. So there are a lot of people out there who don't do practice. They don't do the homework. They don't even practice trade, and they just freak out for no reason. So that's just moronic. Now we're going to talk about like impatience. So there's a lot of people out there who are very impatient and no willingness to learn. I get this on my Facebook page a lot. A lot of people ask me, can you trade for me? And I said, yes, I can. Do the PAM, Forex PAM. Go to the forexlab.net. It's right there. It's on the homepage. You can just use my PAM service. So if you are too lazy to learn, if you don't want to trade, just use my PAM service. Because that way, you can actually have an account that is properly run. I mean, I've got own money there as well, so it makes sense for me to properly do it. And 2 accounts. I have not put the FX Primus on FX Book, because it's practically the same, but that one's actually a bigger account. It was like 40, and FX TM is like 10, because FX TM charges higher for me because I put more money into the other one instead. So if you're not practicing, you're not willing to learn, don't even bother trading. Just use PAM. And as a matter of fact, if you're lazy to trade, you should look at my other videos on YouTube about this crypto project that I'm doing, where you can get 4 to 9% returns that you can monitor on a daily basis. So that could be better for you if you're totally lazy. Okay. Now, point number 13, shiny object syndrome. So there are some people out there who use copy trading, robots, and I have nothing against copy trading and robots, but you know, please accept. No, hang on. Please learn to accept loss. If you cannot accept loss, then you cannot trade because loss is part of trading. You should actually go into trading expecting that loss will happen somewhere along the way. However, the loss that you will have should be less than the profits that you eventually make. Okay? Some loss is part of the game. You cannot win without losing. Hey, I can hear the scooter outside. Check if your sister is back. Uh, so, yeah, so some of these people, like I said, who cannot appreciate that loss is part of the game, they maybe it's a bad month. Like the last 3 months, like so many auto trading systems, so many PAM strategies, like this went kaput on my FX book. I think it was like a whole bunch of a few hundred or even 1,000 systems that I'm missing. We go on like the various copy trading sites, like so many of them disappeared as well, like Zoom Trade and all that. Well, so many of them disappeared, right? Why? Because the statements look like shit, right? Or they just took it off. I keep my statements there because I mean, like I have nothing to hide. I want people to see that I'm actively involved in bringing the account back up again. Okay, so some of these people, they don't understand economics. They don't understand news events, and sometimes it could be one of those months where I mean, a lot of systems out there use hedging and in different kind of combinations, and so a lot of these systems will be similarly hit. Okay, mine is a little bit better because I have like hard stops in my hedging system, which most systems do not have. Um, and like a lot of people during the bad months will be like, oh, I lost 10% on this system. I'm going to switch to this other system. And they lose 20%. Oh gosh, I will switch again. And they lose another 15% somewhere else. And they lose another 10% somewhere else. And before you know it, they are already 50% down on the account. And actually, if they just stuck somewhere, a fund manager with a little bit of decency that is not Zulu Trade, because Zulu Trade is full of garbage demo traders who have no idea what they're doing. They actually just run different optimization sets of the same EA and just hope that people will join it. And they're just happy to receive any commissions that come out there because they're probably some broke guy in a broke part of the world where they're just basically freelance programmers and they usually only like make $200 a month. So anything for them is bonus. So like for them, there's no accountability in the way that they trade at all. I highly do not recommend Zulu Trade. But if anyone wants to use it, well, it's at your own risk. But I mean, just do your own due diligence. If you want, I highly suggest like copy trading. If you don't want to use my signal, or rather, if you find that my signal is too conservative, for example, I rate mine as about 5 to 7% per month until January next year. I don't want to go too heavy on it because there's too much stuff going on in the world. Like Brexit's been postponed again, so no reason for me to increase the aggressiveness settings. So like do your own research. Like have some faith in the creator. Understand what they have. This is the reason why I put different videos in the forexlab.net so that you can understand how my system works, right? And then point number 14, using scam brokers. Some of the biggest bullshit I've ever seen is like for brokers like Exness and FBS. So I'm not sure is it Exness or FBS. So we have unlimited leverage. Are you kidding me? If you see a broker that says you offer unlimited leverage or you offer like 1,000 to 3,000 leverage, you obviously know that they're out to rip you off really bad. They're basically gonna make you a victim of your own greed. So, of course, like Exness may not be a scam, but FBS I know is a scam because so many people have had their profits subject to all kinds of stupid, stupid rules and terms and whatever stuff. And at the end of the day, FBS either doesn't pay them or pays them only a small amount of what they actually made. So garbage. Worst thing, FBS, by the way, even collaborated with a scammer in Thailand once to have the customers' accounts. The customers sign LPOAs to the trader, and what the trader did? The trader emptied out the 15 customers' accounts and replaced the standard accounts with cents accounts. So basically, the broker was an instrument to a scam. All right, that is bloody garbage. So don't use shitty brokers like that. And there's so many good brokers out there. Like, okay, it's kind of funny in Malaysia and in China and in Thailand. Like Forex scams is a really, really big thing. A lot of people out here in these markets that I mentioned, like Thailand, China, Malaysia, there are people promoting all this copy trading with these shady brokers. That, I mean, there are so many good brokers out there in Europe and the rest of the world that even have their own buildings. They're that big. So if there are all these good brokers that you can use, why use some shitty, dingy broker that only has a virtual office, only in a cubicle in a virtual office setup? Why would anyone do that? It just doesn't make sense, right? So use better brokers, okay? Like, why do you use a broker when the industry is so big and so mature? Why do you use a broker that's been around in certain part of the world that is like offshore and stuff? Okay, some of the brokers nowadays, they have offshore offices so that they can offer better leverage, but they have a main office in somewhere for a period of time. Like FX Primus has a few offices, and they have one in the offshore, just like Vanuatu. But all the options, all the other stuff is going through the one that's FCA, FSA regulated. So I mean, yeah, exactly. Humble dude, I see your question. I'm going to get to that because that's kind of like a little bit off topic. I'll get to that afterward. Now, point number 15. This is the final point. Falling victim to scams and scam account managers. This is one very, very disturbing thing that I start to see a lot. And it all comes from greed. So a lot of people out there are very greedy. And yesterday, I was spending time on Facebook just looking around for fake clones of my profile and clones of my Facebook pages, because there are these people in Pakistan, Bangladesh, even the USA, right? And on Instagram as well. There are like name squatting Binary Lab, name squatting Forex Lab, name squatting Julian Wong, and they're trying to offer people that they will trade their accounts for them for a fee, and then they have to pay more fees for withdrawal and more fees for tax and whatnot. Basically, it's just scams. Okay, so Forex is a little bit better off than binary because Forex auto trading and copy trading has been around for such a long time. PAM systems have been around for such a long time, and you can actually use them. So, if you are lazy, use a PAM system. I'll update the video description afterwards so that you can actually, just check out some details. But there's so many solutions out there, and you don't really have to take the lazy way out. Let's send someone in the world that you never met, through Western Union or Bitcoin, and if you want to do anything, go through the broker and make sure it's a legit broker. Make sure the site has like security certificates. You can actually see the account setup. Set up the account yourself. Okay, take some time to even understand what an MT4 or MT5 looks like. Okay, there are these idiots who get victims of scams online where they go, oh yeah, I created the account myself and blah blah. I was like, come on, someone a few days ago, someone said, could you check this site out for me? Tell me if this Forex website is legit. So I went and I saw this. Oh, our business off, our US off. We are incorporated and serving customers in Los Angeles, California, USA. And I was like, this is definitely a scam. So I went to click on the products and the platforms. It was a complete joke. When I click on the platforms, they start flashing like stuff about binary options. I mean, it's a Forex site. So they put binary option screenshots and they called it MT4. So anyone who went to that kind of a site and signed up, I say they're a complete greedy moron who deserve to be scammed. I mean, I hate to see people scam like that, but gosh, that greediness, that naivety, the ignorance. Oh gosh, don't be one of those people. Seriously. Um, yeah, it's frustrating. It's frustrating when sometimes like people hit me up in the morning or just before I sleep, and it's like, Julian, return my money, and I'm like, what? What happened? Yeah, it's like I look at the details. I'm like, well, excuse me, I've never had a message from you before, and then they're like, oh, as a matter of fact, I just realized that it's not the same account as yours. Just the name's the same, and oh, I just noticed that this one has been set like just 2 weeks ago. I'm like, well, exactly. Can you just try to check? Yeah, exactly. So take time to learn, guys. And if you don't want to learn, use PAN, use auto trading, FX. I will put some good links that you guys can use for copy trading and all that. I'll update this video description with more stuff. Okay. Crypto is 4 to 9% opportunity that you guys can use. Now I'm going to take any other questions that you guys may have. I see a question there. Okay, Humble Dude says, don't mind if I ask for binary option, time frame, currency indicators, how to backtest, how long consider back valid. Okay, so every pair will have a different time frame. So like for even the same strategy, right? Let's say how about a breakout and a reversal, you can actually do your own statistics. Recommend that you do some kind of a spreadsheet just to take note. So for example, for this strategy on this pair, like maybe you find that, oh, for this, you can just backtest on the previous setup, so you find that the conditions are being met, and then you just mark out on the chart. So you find that, okay, USD CAD, based on the previous setup, so 3 minutes, 3 minutes, 3 minutes, 3 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes, 3 minutes, 3 minutes. So majority of the time, if it's 3 minutes, then the ideal time for that day is 3 minutes. If it's a different pair, maybe GBP/AUD, then you just note it on the chart. You find that, hey, 5 minutes, 5 minutes, 5 minutes, 6 minutes, 5 minutes, 5 minutes, 5 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes. Then 5 minutes is probably going to be the best ideal time. And by the way, you can also use this method to backtest for your Forex. And I think I actually have a video like how to backtest and rehearse your trading. Search my YouTube for that. Search within my channel how to backtest and rehearse trading methods. I have a video and it talks exactly about that concept. So you can do that. How long will be considered valid? So if you are trading, it depends on what you're trading. If you're using this method, yes, it also works on Forex. If it's on Forex, well, let's say if you are looking at a 4 hours chart, I can say that this will apply for 1 month. It'll be valid for 1 month, more or less. If you are doing binary and you're looking at a 1 minute chart, or you're doing Forex and it's doing a 1 minute chart, it's only going to be valid for this current session. So let's say now it's a New York session. Sorry, now it's a London session. So it's only going to be valid for this session. When it's the New York session starts, you got to reanalyze again. So that's how, yes, search my channel, how to backtest and rehearse for your strategy. So how, the title is like, let's type it. Something like that. Yeah, something like that. Okay, just search for that. Yeah. Okay, option field. What I feel about option field broker, I honestly don't know. I have mixed reviews about option field, and that's also one of the reasons why I stopped to put them up on my binary website. Um, I had mixed reviews. Some people were saying that they're paying out, some people said they were not paying out, some people say they're paying out slow. So I think for me that's a red flag, enough of a red flag to just not want to put them. So can you use them? Well, I suppose you could, but just don't put in too much. But there are actually better alternatives right now. So if you're looking at option field, why don't you instead look at pocket option? Pocket option is FMRRC regulated. Option field is not regulated. And pocket option also has MT5. So does option field. So if you have the option to use regulated one, why don't you use the regulated one instead? Okay. So simply bargain. This is the link. Use this one instead. Yeah, I think I may have typed that wrongly. Yeah, just check that out. Yeah, so basically, use that and then you can actually go ahead. It's regulated. It's safe. They withdraw within a day, so it's a lot better. Hey, I gotta go. Time to do some family stuff. So that was a good time with you guys. Thanks for your attention.